Have you ever taken a substance without knowing anything about it? Chances are you might have, but what if I told you when I was 16 years old, I took acid for the first time without knowing anything about it, which led to me sneaking out on New Year's and a whole crazy weird chain of events unfolding. Thank you, Cooper, for sponsoring this video. Are you tired of spending too much money on overpriced products? Well, then you need Cooper. Cooper is a browser extension that scans the internet for every coupon code related to your purchase to make shopping cheaper and easier than ever. Cooper works with over 200,000 merchants and is available on Chrome, Opera, Firefox, Edge, Safari, and even mobile. Cooper is available in most regions around the globe with a user base of well over 9 million people. And Cooper actually cares about their users. Unlike a lot of browser extensions in the past stealing tracking links and other personal information from you for their own financial gain, Cooper offers complete transparency with all of their users, with their whole goal being to make your shopping cheaper and easier than it's ever been. As you can see, Cooper works with just about anything and anywhere. All you have to do is click the extension at checkout and let Copart do the rest. They instantly scan and apply any and every coupon code that they find. They even offer cashback based off of your purchases. If you purchase enough items using Cooper, you can withdraw your cashback onto a debit card, gift card, or PayPal account, meaning you are making money while shopping. With savings and cashback, there is no reason not to use it, and if you want to save more money, use Copart. We got the link at the top of the description or in the comment section, and another big thanks to Copart for sponsoring this video. But now, let's get back to the story. In order to fully understand this story, we need to go all the way back to December of 2021. This was during the first semester of my sophomore year of high school, and at the time, I was grounded. If you watch the story of how I got involved with the FBI at 15, you understand why. This story takes place just about a month after I got grounded for that whole ordeal. But at the time, it was winter break, and since I had no school, I had no choice but to just stay home. And over winter break is obviously Christmas, New Year's, but also my birthday. Since I was grounded, I was missing out on every single one of these holidays besides some of Christmas, and this was around like the 4th year in a row that I was missing all of these holidays, so I was extremely depressed. Today was December 30th, my 16th birthday, but there was no party, no celebration, no friends, no anything, and I hadn't had a true birthday since I was turning like 11 or 12, so I was extremely depressed, more so than usual. And since I was grounded, I obviously didn't have my phone or really any of my belongings, so one day when my dad was at work, I snuck into his room and I stole my old Google Pixel. This phone hadn't been touched in like 4 years. I only ever really stole it when I was grounded because the phone only worked in Wi-Fi. But once it got later into the night, I started texting my friend John on Snapchat, and he was telling me about all his plans for New Year's the next day, saying that he's going over to this kid named Jack's house. Jack was part of my old friend group from the FBI video, and so I was pretty sad because like it's my birthday today and I'm already missing out on that. And now all that my friends are texting me about is all their plans for New Year's, going to parties, going to all different stuff, and I just couldn't go to any of it. So eventually I just decided to go to bed because I didn't really want to text anybody and hear about all their plans, and the next day was New Year's. So I woke up and went about my day as usual because I knew my parents were not going to have any plans. Every single day they would just watch TV until 9:30 and they would go to bed no later than 10 ever. So I knew that they weren't going to do anything besides their normal routine. So as it got later into the night, right about like 8:30 p.m., this is when John texted me on Snapchat. He's telling me that he's at Jack's house and they're about to do acid, and like he's telling me this all excited, telling me nonstop about his plans. But to me, this was a betrayal because John was one of my closest friends. He was like my druggie friend. Whenever we were going to do any substances, we would always try them for the first time together. And for years, we had been talking about doing acid for the first time together, but now the second that I'm grounded on my birthday and all this stuff, now is when he wants to do acid with somebody else. Since I had already missed my birthday, hearing all this just felt like I was getting kicked while I was already down. So I'm just asking questions, acting like I don't really care what's going on. I'm like, oh, how much did you pay for your tab? This dude, John, is gonna say $10. Out of all the substances I'd done, $10 felt ridiculously cheap to me. So I'm like, whoa, are you serious? You pay $10 for a tab? He's like, yeah, dude, I guess acid is just really cheap. So then I asked what plug he got it from, because I'm figuring it's one of the plugs that me and him typically use. But he's gonna say it's not his plug, it's Jack's plug. So I'm like, oh, okay, that kind of makes sense. But then he follows that up with, yeah, he actually lives in the apartments directly outside your neighborhood. So now I'm getting this thought in my head of like, okay, well, I obviously have $10 and I obviously got 2 legs, so I can go get acid if I want to. So I ask John to send over the plug, and he does. So now I'm sitting in my room kind of just contemplating. I'm like, should I do this acid? Should I not? Because like, I know next to nothing about acid. I've taken shrooms like a good handful of times by this point, but I just am kind of assuming that acid is like shrooms. That could not have been a more wrong statement, because this is when I start getting texts and videos from John and Jack, and they're just like, they're showing me like the whole process of like, they took their acid, like the hours passing by, because I kind of just been ignoring it for a second, kind of just sitting there. I didn't want to hear about this. But now I'm seeing all these videos and pictures of them just having a blast, and like, it genuinely just felt like that picture of Squidward staring at the window at SpongeBob and Patrick, and like, I'm sitting here like, damn, I just wish I could be doing this as well, but obviously I can't. So I'm laying in my bed, I'm just staring at my ceiling. And at this point, it's like just about 11 p.m. at night. It's been a couple hours since they sent me those videos. My parents are dead asleep. I'm just sitting in my room until eventually John FaceTimes me. And now he's just, I can tell he's tripping hard as all hell, because he keeps trying to like talk to me, and then he just starts looking around the room, getting lost in some different stuff. And then he starts talking to Jack, and they start laughing, and like, he's genuinely forgetting I'm on the phone, forgetting that he called me. I'm like trying to talk to him like, dude, like, why'd you FaceTime me? You're not like, hello? I keep saying stuff. He's just ignoring me, forgetting that he called me. So eventually, I just hang up on John, because I'm like, this dude is paying me no mind. He doesn't even know he's on the phone. I'm not wasting my time. So I hang up the call, and now I'm just sitting in my room really contemplating if I want acid, because obviously, I want the acid, but I really do not want to risk being caught sneaking out, because like, we had Ring doorbells and all types of stuff. I'm already grounded indefinitely from like everything that happened, so I'm sitting here like, the last thing I need is to be caught sneaking out. But I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna just text the plug, see what happens. So I text the plug, and to my surprise, he responds within like the same minute of my first text. So I'm like, how much for a tab? Sure enough, he says $10. So now I'm sitting there and I'm like, you know what? Nope, I'm gonna sneak out. So I text him, I'm like, I'll be there in like around 10 minutes. I won't have a phone though, so I will not be able to text you. I'll just be out in the parking lot. And he's like, okay. So I get up, I grab $10, put on some warm clothes, and I get ready to sneak out. Once I go to sneak out, this dude, like literally his apartment complex was like less than a mile away from my house. So once I snuck out, I started jogging over to the apartment complex. I got over there pretty quickly, but I could not text him that I was there. So like, I'm just posted up in the parking lot, scanning the area. I'm waiting for like 10 minutes. Nobody is walking around this apartment complex, because like, I'm looking for somebody who looks like they'd be selling acid. I'm not even seeing anybody in the entire apartment complex. So I'm like just looking around, I'm getting pretty confused. It's super cold, and I'm like, okay, come on, where is this guy? I cannot text you. Till eventually I spin around and I see some guy walking down the sidewalk, and like, he's looking at me the same way I'm looking at him, like somewhat suspicious, but like thinking this is probably my guy. And like, the closer he gets, the more Discord mob vibes I'm getting, because like, he's got an unmaintained beard, like some greasy hair, and he's like a little bit bigger. And then eventually he just looks at me and is like, hey, are you him? And I'm like, yeah, that's me, right? So I walk over there, I have the $10 folded up in my hand, and I give it to him in a handshake, grab my tab, and I'm like, all right, appreciate you, have a good night, bro. Turn around to walk away. And that's where he's like, hey, whoa, hang on. Have you heard of like blah, blah, blah? And I'm like, what are you talking about? This dude's like trying to talk to me about some random video game I've never heard of in my life. So I'm sitting here confused. I'm like, no, I've never heard of the game before. And he's like, what? You've never heard of this? Like, dude, you gotta play this game. You gotta download it. Like, we can play together. And he starts just going into detail. And like, I don't remember exactly what it was, because I was just really weirded out. It was like some Elden Ring Dungeons and Dragons-esque game. And like, I was just acting like it's cool. I'm like, oh yeah, that sounds dope. Like, I'll look into it when I get home. Have a good night. Start trying to walk away again. And he's like, whoa, hang on. You look like you like Star Wars, right? It's like, I genuinely do like Star Wars, but I'm trying to get home. So I'm like, yeah, Star Wars is pretty cool, right? And he's just like, hey, well, come here. So like, I'm really confused. I'm like, what is this dude talking about? So I like spin around, and I start walking like the 5 or so steps back towards him, and he just starts unzipping his jacket. And I'm like, what is happening? And he just unzips the jacket to reveal like a Star Wars A New Hope shirt. And I'm like, cool, man. Like, what are we doing, man? And like, I was so confused about this whole thing, because I can't tell if this guy is trying to groom and flash me, if he's really lonely and needs friends, or if he's genuinely just tripping extremely hard off of multiple tabs. Which it most likely was the third option, because after he started trying to talk about Star Wars for a second, then he moves in, he's like, yeah, dude, these tabs are actually like some of the best ones I've ever made. And like, I don't remember exactly what UG he said it was. I just know it was fairly high. And so I'm like, oh, that's dope. Like, this is my first time taking acid. And he's like, oh, well, you're about to have a fun night, dude. Just make sure you stay safe. And like, I'm trying to get this conversation over. So I'm like, yeah, I'm actually going to meet up with my friends that you served earlier. Like, we're going to be safe and everything. He's like, wait, you're meeting up with Jack? Like, oh, I love Jack. You got to come over and hang out with us sometime. So obviously, I'm sitting here like, this is never gonna happen. What do you mean Jack is coming over here and just hanging out? Like, I'm so confused about this, but I just lied to him. And I'm like, yeah, maybe next time he comes over, I'll slide with him, but I don't want to keep them waiting. I gotta go. So I instantly just started walking away. He was trying to say something else. I straight up just ignored him, started walking home, because this place was so close to my house, but this plug was so talkative that this whole ordeal took like 40 or 45 minutes, even though it should have only been like 20. And so I start walking home, and eventually I get to my house and sneak back in. Basically, the second I get into my room, I pop that tab and I just start chilling. And I'm like, you know what? I'm a FaceTime John. So I hop on Snapchat, FaceTime him, and like I got my tongue stuck out with like the tab on it to show him that I'm tripping, just waiting for him to answer. The second he answers, he's with Jack. And like they both are like have these big old like tripping smiles on their faces until they look at the camera. And this was like literally a half split second, like the quickest switch up I've seen in emotion, from instant laughing and dopamine to they just start going, oh my God, dude, no, you gotta leave. What are you doing, dude? You're stupid. You gotta leave your house. What are you doing? Like they just are repeating, what are you doing? You're stupid. You gotta leave your house. So I'm sitting here kind of just freaking out because like I said, I did not do any research on acid. I thought that it was basically just like shrooms, just another psychedelic. I had done shrooms in my room so many times. So I'm sitting here and I'm like, what are y'all talking about? Like, y'all gotta just be tweaking. They're like, dude, no, you are gonna lose control of your body. You do not know what you're gonna do on shrooms. You can't control your voice. You could just start screaming and wake up your entire house, and they just start rambling on and on about all these risks, right? And I'm sitting here and I'm like, there is no physical way I am going to lose control of my body. Like, y'all are already tripping. You gotta be overreacting, right? And I say that, and then they just start tweaking out and rambling like, dude, no, you're so stupid. You're so stupid. Why would you take acid at this time of night? Like, we are more than halfway through our trip. You are not gonna sleep tonight. You're gonna be tripping for like 13 hours straight. Your dad is going to catch on to you. You have to leave the house. So now I am starting to get extremely anxious about all this because the last thing I need is to get caught on acid. Like, I did not want to sneak out, but I wanted to get caught on acid less. So after probably about 35 minutes on the phone or so, they convinced me to sneak out again, but this time to go to Jack's house. So I'm like, you know what? I don't know anything about acid. Jack does. He's taken acid multiple times, so I might as well take your word for like losing control and whatever the hell's going on. So I'm gonna get ready. I'm gonna leave the house. And this is when time genuinely just becomes non-existent. I have no idea what time I like hung up this phone call. I just remember once I got off the phone call, I look up and I'm just sweaty. I'm like super anxious and sweaty, and it kind of feels like my skin is starting to tighten around my body. But I get up, I put on different clothes, and I get ready to sneak out. And this time when I stepped outside, the cold air genuinely did not affect me. It just felt amazing, and I felt like I was ready to just go run around. So I hop over the fence and I get into the road, and at this point I'm starting to run over to this park because John knows that I like don't have any cell service. So we agreed to meet at this park called Bluegrass that was really close to Jack's house. So I'm jogging over there. It's like maybe 1.5 miles, 2 miles from my house, and as I'm starting to run, I just start feeling super giddy, super giggly, like I'm ready to just jump around. I am ready to conquer the night. Pretty much the second that I left my neighborhood, I got this random just boost of energy. Like I was ready to just start sprinting around. So that's exactly what I did. I start sprinting right out of my neighborhood towards this bike path. And like at this point, I'm fairly sure it's been just about an hour since I took the acid. So like I'm starting to come up pretty damn hard. And for some reason, the only thing on my mind is how easily dogs breathe, because this air is extremely cold. It's like hurting my nose to try and breathe. And like I'm having a really hard time breathing, a really hard time running. And I'm just like, I just feel like dogs can run forever. And like, none of that's even true. Like humans have way better endurance and stamina than dogs do. But for some reason, the only thing on my trip in mind was how well dogs can run and endure everything during the winter. Like I was almost on like one of those like Alaskan dog racing type vibes. Like I'm on thinking that in my head. So at some point, I started just opening up my mouth to mouth breathe. And like the second I start mouth breathing, I slowly start sticking out my tongue until I'm genuinely panting like a dog while I'm running. And this is when my arms like move from a running position to like just hanging in front of me, like how a dog stands on their like behind two legs. So the further I get down this bike path, the more my brain is convincing me that dog traits are gonna help with my endurance while running through the snow. I'm like convincing myself that having these dog characteristics is gonna make me get to the park faster and like better. So I'm running down this bike path and I'm genuinely just panting. I'm panting loud as hell, like just like a dog with tongue out the mouth and everything. And this bike path, there was almost always people on it. No matter what time of night it was, you'd see some random chick running, a homeless person, whatever it was, there were people people there. So I'm like scanning this entire area looking for people. And this is when like in my head, I start just growling. Like I'm growling and looking around and like, I'm not thinking anything. I'm like genuinely on autopilot, just running down here. I'm looking for people. I'm growling in my head until eventually I'm like looking around and I just bark. Like I bark loud as hell to the point that it shocks my body. I feel a jolt shoot across my body. All of a sudden I stop dead in my tracks, put my arms back down, and I just start looking around. I'm like, whoa, whoa, whoa. How did I get here? Like I'm confused how I made it this far down the bike path. The last night, it was almost like a time skip type of thing. Like the last I remembered, I was at like the front, like the start of the bike path, starting to jog. Now I'm almost at the end of it, towards where like this middle school is, about to cross the street. And I'm like, whoa, 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 how did I get here? Like I am so lost. I'm super confused. But I'm like, okay, I gotta get to Bluegrass. So I start running normally. I'm trying to get to Bluegrass as quick as possible, but I genuinely cannot stay focused for more than like 5 seconds. Like I explained on the bike path, like when I barked, it kind of shocked my body into being like, what's going on? Like, how did I get here? I didn't even remember running this far. That kept happening like more and more frequently the further that I would get. All of a sudden, I would just be like, I'd like kind of wake up in a sense, I guess, and I would be standing in someone's front yard, just like in the snow. There's like a foot of snow in everyone's yards. Like the only places that don't have snow are the path and like the road. And I keep like just like almost waking up and I'm just in the snow looking around like, whoa, 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 how did I get here? Last time I remember I was by Woodland. I was crossing the street. I am so lost. I'm so confused. And then I would just be like, I gotta get to Bluegrass. I gotta run. So I start running. And the more that I run, the more those dog traits pick back up until I'm like growling again. I'm panting again. My arms are up. And then all of a sudden I'd be in someone's front yard again. Like I am so confused. The acid has me on autopilot. And like at this point, I'm starting to see what John and Jack meant by you can't control yourself on acid, because I genuinely just keep getting lost and then like coming back to like my consciousness and being like, I don't know where I am. Why am I in someone's front yard? I gotta get to Bluegrass. And then I would run to Bluegrass and then I would get in someone's front yard. I'd be like, what am I doing? It was genuinely the most confusing things. Every 5 seconds, I would just like almost wake up, but it wouldn't be 5 seconds. It would be like 5 minutes. But it felt like 5 seconds to me. Time is non-existent and I cannot stay focused until eventually I start seeing the like park in the distance. So I'm like, okay, we gotta get to the park. So I continue running, jogging over to the park. Once I get there, I see John in the distance. So I like run up to him and I'm like trying to tell him, like I'm excited as hell to see him. I'm like, dude, I just found the most efficient way to run. Like I'm rambling. I'm like telling him that he needs to try running how I'm running. And I'm rambling trying to talk to him. And it's like, whoa, 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 dude, what are you talking about? What's going on? And like, he like snaps me out of what's happening. I'm like, what's going on? He's like, dude, you've been missing for 5 days straight. And so now I'm like, what do you mean? My brain knows damn well I just left the house like maybe 40 minutes ago. So I'm like, what? I've not been missing for 5 days. What are you talking about? Like, I know for a fact that I did not get here as quick as I should have. I was quite literally just operating off of impulses the entire time I was coming over here. I don't know how long it took me to get to the park, but I know it didn't take me no 5 days, so I say that. And that's when John is just like, no, dude, like, genuinely, you've been missing for at least 4 days, like 4 days minimum, you've been missing. Your dad has been looking for you. There have been multiple search parties. He's going on and on about the fact that I've just been missing and everyone's been looking for me. And so I am tripping pretty damn hard, but I know for a fact I have not been gone for that long. So I'm like staring at him and I'm like, I gotta be hearing him wrong. Like there's no way this is actually what he's saying. Like this does not seem like the John that I know, like talking. So I'm like, what is going on? But right as he's saying that, like my dad's been looking for me, there's been search parties, I've been missing. That's when right behind him, there's like this street light. The street light goes out the second that he says that. So I see that street light go out. And for some reason, my brain registers that as like, this means everything he said was true. Like I'm sitting there, I'm like, oh my God, I've been missing? I've been missing for 5 days? Like for whatever reason, my brain registered that light going out as like, John is telling the truth. All this has been going on. So this is when everything kind of like starts to zoom out. I start tripping really hard. My anxiety starts rising. And then all of a sudden I open my eyes. I do not remember closing my eyes. All of a sudden, I just open them and I'm staring directly up at the sky. I'm laying flat on my back in the snow and John is standing over me just laughing at like one of the hardest I'd ever heard him laugh. He's laughing so hard that he can't even talk. Like he's trying to say some stuff to me and even if he could talk, I have no idea what's going on. I'm like, what's happening? How long have I been laying here? Like it feels like I like passed out without my knowledge and all of a sudden just woke up at the park. I'm like, how long have I been here? How long have I been laying down? I am all types of confused. And this is when John is like trying to talk, but he's like laughing way too hard to talk. So he just helps me up until eventually he's like, oh, I'm so sorry, dude. Like Jack did the same exact thing to me. So like I had to do it to you. I couldn't be the only one who like got messed with like this. But I promise you, you have been gone for maybe like an hour. It's only been maybe an hour since like you left the house. So I don't believe what he's saying to me now. I'm like, whoa, whoa, whoa. what about the light? The light. I start tweaking out, just saying the light. I'm tweaking about this light as if it was God himself confirming everything John just said to be true. And so I'm like, dude, no, right when you were talking, that light went out. And this is when John just gets extremely serious. He stops laughing and he just gets dead serious. He's like, no, like genuinely, dude, I'm not messing with you anymore. I'm so serious when I say this. That light turned off like maybe a minute and a half after I was talking to you. I was telling you that your dad was looking for you and that there was a search parties, and then you just stood there completely frozen for like maybe a minute and a half, and then you just fell backwards into the snow. That is why I was laughing so hard. And I'm sitting here and I'm like, whoa, that's not true. Because that meant that time was non-existent. Time was not working for me. I'm like, that's not what happened, dude. I was responding instantly. That light turned off instantly. Like, I am beyond messed up about this because I'm like, time is like one of the only things grounding me to the planet. If time isn't existent, what is going on? So I'm sitting here, I'm lost as all hell, and I'm like, no, dude, that turned off immediately. And he's like, I promise you, it did not, man. Like, I promise you what I just said is exactly what happened. And so now I'm just sitting here dead silent, like, oh my gosh, I gotta be tripping so hard right now. I'm tripping so hard right now. What the hell? And this is when John's just like, all right, we gotta go get to Jack's house. I hope I can find where it is. And I'm like, what? Hope? What do you mean you hope? Do you not know where he lives? He's like, well, I've only been there once and it was during the day. So I tried to have him come with me so we could find the house easier, but he didn't want to leave the house. So I just came to get you alone. So at this point, I am genuinely like the most confused I'd almost ever been in my life. I have no idea where we're going. We're just walking down the street towards where we think Jack's house is. And this entire time we're walking, I am directly next to John, just like kind of talking with him. But randomly, I would just start walking or jogging in a completely different direction, start running through the snow, I would just start kind of like tweaking out to the point where John genuinely just starts grabbing my shirt collar and dragging me wherever it is he's walking. And like by this point, I had completely forgotten about my dog state of mind, like the dog mentality I had going on. But him grabbing my shirt collar made me feel like a domesticated animal. Like before, when I was running around to the park, I was like a wolf, you know, I was ready to conquer the night running around. Now that he's like dragging me by my collar, I feel like a domesticated animal on a leash with no idea where I'm going. So I'm like just kind of getting dragged around. I don't know where we're going. Turns out John doesn't know where we're going either, because like this place is like somewhat suburbia, you know, so there's like some copy and paste houses. All of them are fairly nice though. John was tripping and had never been in this neighborhood at night. So we make like a couple wrong turns. We don't really know where we're going, but eventually we find the house and we walk in. This is when I realized how hard I really am tripping, because when I was walking around outside, everything just looked like very nice, you know, like the snow was all sparkly, it was all reflective, nothing really looked crazy, it all just like looked very interesting and like pretty in a sense. The second that I got inside of Jack's house, I had never been in this house before, but something just felt off. Like everything I was looking at just looked off, looked weird, like something was wrong with it. And like, I don't mean that like I had some crazy, insane visuals type of thing. Like I wasn't really like tripping, but as I'm looking, like it's like everything is like stretched out. Like some things are way bigger than I think they're supposed to be. Some things are way smaller than they're supposed to be. Some paintings are extremely vivid while others are blurry, and like everything just looks extremely off. His hallways look like they're way longer than I know damn well these hallways are maybe like 20 feet, but they look like they're about 50. So I'm like looking at everything and I'm like, what? Everything just looks off. Everything looks stretched out. Everything just looks crazy to me, right? And as I'm like looking at this kind of just in awe, this is when John grabs me and just like drags me up the stairs into this bigger room where Jack was. And once we get in there, there's like 2 lounge chairs, a couch, a TV, and like some miscellaneous things. I don't really remember all that was in the room, but I just remember I went in there and I had my Google Pixel with me. It was about to die, so I brought it with me with a charger and I went and plugged it in behind the couch. After I plugged it in, for whatever reason, I take off my hoodie and my shoes and I go and put them on the complete opposite side of the room. After that, I went and sat down on the couch, and this is when they're like, dude, we have been watching these music videos and they're the trippiest things I've ever seen. And this is when they went and put a Du Bois music video on the TV. At least I think it was Du Bois. I'm not entirely sure on this one, but once they put this music video on the TV, it was at that moment I understood why the government used acid for MK Ultra and mind control, because this TV was injecting dopamine into my brain. I'm staring at this and like I can feel the happiness rising. My ears are like making this weird vibration noise and like my mouth is just hanging wide open. I am sucked into this TV and nothing can stop that. And like I'm staring at this TV and like the more that I'm looking at this like music video tripping out, everything on the walls is starting to move around and like everything just looks extremely weird and I'm like genuinely tripping the fuck out. And this is when I like would look over at the walls like at what I was tripping at and it would just stop. Like it would just turn normal. I'm like, what the hell? Look back at the TV, and he would start doing the same thing. And like, I'm tripping so hard at this point until all of a sudden, I just hear Jack and John start laughing loud as all hell. And so that like snaps me out of the somewhat trance I was in, and I snap my head over and like look at them, right? And I'm just looking at them confused. And this is when they're like, dude, we've been asking if you want to hit the pen for the past 2 minutes. And I'm like, what? Really? Because like, I did not hear a single thing. I'm locked into this music video. All I hear is the music. I don't even believe that they were like, they had to have been asking quietly is what I'm thinking. They're like, no, we've been yelling at you if you want to hit the pen. And this is when John and Jack just start going, nah, dude, you're tripping hard as hell, man. You're messed up, bro. You're tripping hard as hell. They just start repeating that over and over again. And as they're saying this, John just starts handing me the pen. So I grab the pen and go to hit it. And he's like, dude, it is the weirdest thing. Like, you do not feel the pen whatsoever when you hit it. Like, I don't even know how it works. So like, I grab the pen and I rip it for like a good, like what I thought was about 4 seconds, blow it out. And I genuinely like don't feel anything in my throat. So I'm like, huh, maybe I just didn't hit it that long. So I hit it for another like good 4 or 5 seconds or so. And the battery starts blinking. So I'm looking at this. I'm like, there is no way I just took a blinker. This was literally like 4 seconds, right? And so I look up, blow out the smoke. There's this big old cloud of smoke. And this is when Jack looks at me. He's like, yeah, dude, the blinker on that battery is like 15 seconds. You're about to be fucked up. Cause like what they didn't tell me is weed enhances acid like crazy. I did not know this. I thought that I was just tripping and then smoking. I did not know it was about to enhance my trip. They tell me that, and I will never forget this. Cause after this, they put on the aw shit like lyric video by Shoreline Mafia. That thing was the craziest, like it was crazier than the music videos. I was watching this with my jaw to the floor, and like this is genuinely when I started peaking. I was tripping so hard. We're just watching this music video, laughing, passing the pen back and forth. And I have no idea how long we were in this room watching music videos for, cause like I kept looking at the TV and then I would just like put my head back and stare up at the ceiling, and I was genuinely just a vegetable with visuals. Like I'd put my head back and I'd be staring at the ceiling just genuinely laughing to myself, cause like I kept having these looping thoughts where I just kept like having the same thoughts over and over again, but every time it would loop, I would remember less and less of what I was trying to think about, and like it's super confusing to even try to explain, cause these thoughts did not even make sense, but they just kept looping in my head until eventually I'd be like, wait, what am I thinking about? I'd have no idea what's going on, so I'd snap back into reality. But like right after that Shoreline Mafia video played, that's when I put my head back, had them same looping thoughts going on until all of a sudden I like snapped out of it and went and looked at the TV. I just like very quickly lifted my head up, looked at the TV, and once my eyes were on the TV, my head did not move, but my head moved like 3 times. It's so weird to explain, because like I'm looking at the TV and my head does the same movement. Like with my eyes on the TV, I see myself look over like 3 different times. It was like an overlay over it. It's like impossible to explain. I'll have to like edit how it looks, you know? But this shit kept happening. So I'm like looking around, and every time I move, it happens like 3 times. So I look over at John and I'm like, whoa, this shit is crazy. And then he just like starts yelling. He's like, dude, why are you yelling? And I'm like, what do you mean? I could not control my voice. This is when I realized like it's genuinely a good thing that I left the house, because apparently I was either screaming or whispering, and like I thought that I was talking completely normal. And after that, I kind of just remember that we got up from the room and we started walking around the house just like doing random stuff. I even went into the bathroom and was like looking at myself in the mirror, but the person, like the me in the mirror, did not feel like me. This motherfucker seemed evil. Like genuinely, he was not doing what I was doing, and it kind of just scared me, so I got up out there real quick. I did not know what was going on with that. Then I met back up with them, and like I genuinely do not have a recollection of what we were doing around the house. I just remember we were running around the house doing some random stuff until eventually we went back into the room and went to go watch more music videos. So I sit down on the couch, and at this point, it's probably been at least like 4 hours since I dropped my tab. I really have no idea though, because like this time period is the most gray area of all of my memory of this night, because of all like the pen rips and everything. I was genuinely just tripping dick. And at this point, I lean my head back, I'm staring at the ceiling, and I'm just smiling big as hell. And at this point, I start hearing this grinding noise start up, just like this weird, like just, I don't know, like some electronic type noise, like starting up, kind of grinding around. And I'm like, I'm confused about it until all of a sudden the massage feature of this couch turns on. So I'm sitting here like, oh, you rich bastard, you really got a massaging couch? Like, I am having the time of my life sitting right here. And so at this point, I like look up to go say something about the couch. And when I go to like look up, I turn and my eyes are on them. I look over at them 5 times. Once again, everything's just repeating itself. And this is when they like jump up and they look super freaked out. John and Jack both. They jump up, turn their heads at each other. And I literally, every single thing is happening 5 times. I watch them jump up and look at each other 5 times, like overlaid upon each other. And like, I'm so disoriented. I have no idea what's going on. And I'm like, I'm going to say something about the massaging couch. And that's when they're like, dude, his mom's here. You gotta go. His mom's here. And I'm like, whoa, what do you mean? What about the massage couch? And they're like, what the fuck are you talking about? So I'm like, the massage couch, it just turned on. And they're like, are you dead ass? That was the garage door. The garage door just opened. His mom is home. You gotta go. And so I'm like, whoa, what? His mom's home? I gotta go? They're like, yeah, get your stuff. So I jump up from the couch. I'm trying to grab all my stuff as quick as I can, but it genuinely just feels like my vision is delayed. I have to wait for all 5 of those visions to lock into one vision before I can genuinely see exactly what's going on. Like, it's so confusing to even explain. And as I'm trying to like grab all this stuff, that's when I hear Jack just going, oh my gosh, no, what time is it, dude? What time is it? How is she home right now? Because apparently his mom was like at some type of New Year's party. I'm pretty sure he thought she was staying the night there or something, but now it's like close to 5 in the morning and she's just now getting home. So like, dude, you gotta go. So I'm like, okay, I grab all my stuff and I just take off running, right? I don't know what possessed me to like do what I did. I got lost upstairs. And like genuinely, you cannot get lost from this thing because the second you open the door of the room we're in, the stairs are directly there to the left. Like they're literally the first thing you see to the left. For some reason, I started sprinting down like the, I don't even know what to call it. It was like a platform with a railing outside of the stairs and I just booked it into some random room. And then I was like, wait, why am I in someone's room? And that's when John comes out. He's like, dude, what are you doing? You gotta go home. So he grabs me, like basically throws me down the stairs. So I go running straight out that front door and I start trying to run home. But for some reason, the second that I like got onto his front porch and the front door closed on me, I just stopped dead in my tracks and started like kind of spinning in circles because like I'm holding my hoodie and my shoes just like in my chest. I don't have anything on besides like my shirt and pants, obviously. And I'm just sitting there spinning in circles because for whatever reason, the second I got to this porch, everything just flew out of my brain. Like they're telling me that I gotta leave, I gotta go home. His mom cannot see me. Once I got to the porch, for some reason my brain flipped that into I gotta wait for his mom to go to bed. They're about to come open the door and let me back inside. So I'm like, I gotta wait for them to come get me. So I'm standing on this porch holding everything. My mouth is wide open. I'm like spinning in circles. I'm like genuinely just in la la land. It's just like, okay, I gotta wait for him to let me in. And then all of a sudden, like, I don't know how long I was out there. I think for about like 10 minutes, I'm just spinning in circles till all of a sudden I see the Ring doorbell lit up directly in front of me. Once I see that, I'm like, oh my gosh, wait, what am I doing? I gotta go home. His mom can't see me. How long have I been here? And I don't know what's going on. I'm like, I gotta go. So I instantly just take off running. I don't have my shoes on. I don't have my hoodie on. I'm just holding it against my chest, sprinting through front yards. There's like a foot of snow in these front yards, and I'm just running it in just my socks, just barefoot running through all this snow. I get across like maybe 3 or 4 yards until all of a sudden I'm like, whoa, what am I doing? There's no snow on the sidewalk. I have shoes I can put on. So I'm like, I gotta get myself together. I gotta pull myself together. So I walk over to the sidewalk. I start putting on my shoes, putting on my hoodie, and that's when it hits me. Me and John went through the front door when he came and got me. Even my tripping brain is like, how can the mom not know I'm here if the Ring doorbell clearly has us like here? My footsteps are in the front yard. Like, obviously she's gonna know that I was here no matter what. And like, even my tripping brain was thinking about this as I'm trying to put on my shoes. And like, I know for a fact that my socks have got to be soaking wet and cold, but I genuinely cannot feel it. So I put on my shoes, I put on my hoodie, and I just start running because I have no idea where I am. I just know down the street is the park and I know where the park is. So I start sprinting over to the park. And once I get there, I know where I am. So I kind of relax. I don't really feel like running. So I just start walking around. And like, I am genuinely walking like a tweaker. I'm not walking like a normal person whatsoever. I'm moving my jaw around all weird and I'm just laughing to myself extremely loud because I have so many thoughts going through my head. Like there's millions of thoughts flowing through my head to the point where they keep cutting each other off and I can't even finish a thought and then I just start laughing. And like I'm trying to walk home over to this road that leads to the bike path. Whole time I'm walking there, I keep having like, because I'm not having like these crazy visuals to an extent. I'm just having these like hallucinative thoughts that I think are real and actually happening until I snap out of the thoughts and I'm like, whoa, how far have I walked? Like I just am like genuinely tripping so hard. I'm so confused, but not in a bad way. Like I'm enjoying the hell out of this. I was genuinely having the time of my life, like the most euphoric feelings I'd ever had. Like I'm going down this bike path and I just got this big old smile on my face. Like I'm starting to understand the tweaker mentality, the tweaker mind state. I'm starting to understand all the homeless people I'd see throughout all types of cities walking around, like I'm like, I could be that person. I would not mind this life. Like I'm walking down the bike path just thinking about I could easily be a tweaker. Like I would love this type of life. And like, as I'm going down this thought spiral, that's when the trippiest thing of my entire life happened to me because like, as I was explaining, I wasn't really like having these crazy visuals, because like most of the stories you'll hear about acid, people start saying like, oh, they like start imagining like talking unicorns or zebras, or like they just start imagining weird stuff coming up to them and like talking to them. I was not having none of that. I was like having some light visuals, stuff was like moving around for me, but most of my like quote unquote hallucination type stuff was genuinely just thoughts in my head, just like this random weird stuff, right? But as I'm walking down this bike path, all of a sudden it starts to like stretch out, like the whole thing starts to just get long as all hell, like everything's getting bigger, it's stretching out, and I'm looking at it and I'm really confused, because this is not like the thoughts that I was having. Like I feel extremely weird. I'm watching the bike path stretch out to the point that I stop dead in my tracks. I'm like, what is going on? I start trying to open my eyes like as wide as they can go and like try to refocus them, because I did like this, I feel like it's in my head, but the more I open my eyes, I'm like, whoa, this is genuinely happening right now. What is going on? And like the path kept stretching out until at the end of it, all of a sudden I saw these houses that I recognized. And the thing is, there is 0 houses on this bike path. It's literally just a path that goes between some businesses and eventually stretches out into like some fields. There is not any houses, but I'm seeing this path stretch out, and then all of a sudden, once it's done stretching out, I see that there's 2 houses and like just a cul-de-sac type of thing. Once I see the houses and recognize them, it's like my vision just jumps straight forward about 100 yards over to where the houses actually are. This is when I see just like this bright light. It's fire. There's a bunch of people, like a mob of at least like 30 or 40 people, all holding stuff that's on fire, and then in front of the mob there are these 2 little kids just sobbing their eyes out, crying, right? And then there's like 2 adults like talking to the kids, trying to console them, asking what's going on. That's when the kids, like through their tears, both just look up and just point at me. This shook me to my core, because I knew exactly what these houses were. I knew exactly why these kids were like pointing at me. I knew what was going on in my tripping mind, because the thing is, those 2 houses, the reason I recognize them is they're from my neighborhood. They don't actually live in a cul-de-sac. They're directly across the street from each other. And like, I used to sneak out a lot. And when I'd sneak out, I was always on a lot of drugs, as you can tell from this story here. And me and my friends, when we'd sneak out, we'd go past these 2 houses. We'd always get the bright idea, because one of the houses had all types of kids' toys in it. They would have like play houses, you know, basketballs, just like all types of different toys, cars, just kids' toys throughout their yard. Me and my friends would get the bright idea that we should steal all these kids' toys, but not necessarily steal them, but move them to one of the neighbors' yards across the street, because the neighbors also had kids. So I'd be doing this so we'd start beef between the 2 families and between the kids, so that way they'd fight. Me and my friends did this probably at least 12 times, like minimum, 12 times minimum. We did this for genuinely no reason whatsoever. We would not even be able to see the families like arguing. They lived on the opposite side of my neighborhood. We never saw them fight. We never saw anything happening. We genuinely were just doing this for no reason, and it was pretty fucked up, to be honest. But as I'm seeing this mob of people marching towards me, all of them have pitchforks that are on fire. They're all screaming. The kids are crying. They're marching towards me, and like I see that and I'm like, oh God, I'm caught. They know it's me. They know I stole the stuff. They're gonna kill me. I start genuinely freaking the fuck out. I'm like, oh my gosh, no, I'm caught. So I turn around and I start running away from the mob, right back down the bike path that I like was just walking up. And I don't really remember what happened, because like as I'm running, I'm freaked out. I'm trying to move as quick as I can. I either like tripped on something or slipped on some ice. All I know is I started rolling down the side of the bike path and like down into the snow. I'm rolling through the cold on the snow until all of a sudden I'm on my back staring at the sky again, and it's dead silent now. I'm like, wait, what? Like, it was so loud in my ear. I'm nonstop hearing the people screaming, hearing the kids crying. The second I'm on my back, it is dead silent. So I get back up. I look around. The bike path is completely normal again. And I'm like, what the fuck just happened? Now I'm even more messed up, because I'm like, was that genuinely in my head? I'm so confused. I'm like, you know what? No, I just need to get home. I need to get home right now. This is bad. So I get up from the snow, start walking down the bike path again. And like, as I'm walking, I'm getting closer to the road I need to be at. This is when my headphones start playing music. The song that started playing was Blinding Lights by The Weeknd, and like at this point in time, Blinding Lights was the #1 trending song. I genuinely could not escape it. It was playing everywhere and overplayed to the point the song genuinely just annoyed me and I refused to listen to it. But tonight, this song was like crack. Like genuinely, this song came on and I don't think I've ever enjoyed a song as much as I was at this moment. That song started playing and it felt like crack hitting my brain straight away. I'm like, oh my gosh, I could not control my body. I started dancing instantly. I instantly started moving around. I'm spinning in circles. I am dancing all around, and like I'm moving my jaw in all types of weird positions. Like this song is making me fully embrace the tweaker mind state. Like I felt like I had some like shackles holding me down, trying not to tweak out. That song comes on and I just break out into dance. I'm spinning in circles, I'm moving my jaw around, and at this point I am crossing the street of a main road while just spinning in circles, dancing around, like singing the song, and I just start shadow boxing. Like I'm genuinely just moving my arms, I'm moving my entire body. Every single movement that I do feels like genuine ecstasy going through my body. Like this is the most euphoric feeling I have ever had in my life. I'm shadow boxing, I'm moving around, I'm genuinely just tweaking out down the road until all of a sudden I start to think about it. I'm like, whoa, wait. Where's the music coming from? Because I don't actually have headphones on. I don't have a speaker. And that's why I start like tapping my pockets. I don't even have my phone. And I'm like, whoa, I don't have my phone. And like right as I make the realization that this music is not actually real and it's like coming from my head, it starts to like fade away and the music is no longer there. So I stop dancing. I'm like, whoa. I left my phone at John's house. So I'm starting to tweak out. Oh, no, I don't have my phone. So I'm like, I can't go double back for it. Like I'm outside of my neighborhood right now. I'm like maybe 2.5 minutes walking to my house. So I'm like, I can't get my phone. This is a problem. And then I'll start looking around. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm on a main road right now. If a cop sees me genuinely dancing, tweaking out on the street, I am so lucky there's no cop. I need to get home. So I start walking into my neighborhood and like all that I'm thinking about is how genuinely fucked up I am, because I'm like, oh my gosh, no, I have to sneak into my house. I'm 1.5 minutes, 2 minutes away from sneaking into the house. I'm dancing around the road like I need to lock in, dude. My dad is going to catch me. I don't even know if I can get in the house quietly. So like I'm walking down the road and I'm just trying to turn into like a gray human. I'm trying to turn into like just like the average Joe, but like all I want to be is a tweaker. I got so many emotions I'm trying to bottle up, but the more I bottle them up, the more they want to escape. I just want to dance in the night. I just want to run around. I just want to feel the air on my face, but I need to lock in. I need to get home. So I'm walking down the road and I'm just thinking, because I'm like, I know for a fact my phone is still charging behind the couch at John's house. So I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so bad. Because like I told them I was going to text them, but obviously I can't text them that I'm home if I don't have a phone. So I'm like, this is all around bad. I just need to get inside. So I'm walking through the neighborhood. I'm trying to lock in as hard as I can. And it's genuinely so like hard. It's almost impossible. But eventually I see my house down the street. So I'm like, okay, it's time. So I start trying to walk as quiet as I can, trying to act as normal as I can, and I get over to this gate to hop it. I had hopped this gate 1,000,000 times, perfectly silently, like I was basically a master at it type of thing. I go over there, it's like I forgot how to work my limbs, because I put my arms on top of the gate to go and hop it, and then all of a sudden, I just like go to lift myself up, I just slam into the gate. It starts shaking, it makes so much noise, I'm like, oh my gosh. And then I literally just flop over the gate. Like, I don't even want to say I hopped the gate, like I still technically landed on my feet. I didn't really fall over it, but it was not hopping over the gate. I basically just flopped over the gate, somewhat landed on my feet and hands. I was like, okay, I gotta get inside. Because that made so much noise, I'm like, that probably woke up the dog. So I sprint upstairs, go straight into my room, and I'm just dead silent. I have got absolutely no idea what time I got home. I just know it was like probably somewhere around 6 or like 7 in the morning, because the sun wasn't like up yet and my dad also was not awake. So it couldn't have been anything past like 7 o'clock. So once I got there, I got in my bed and I'm just laying down. I feel weird as all hell because I'm just trying to act normal, but I'm tripping super hard still. And the other thing is, like, the carts that we had at the time and the cart that Jack had that we were hitting was a street cart. This was not like real weed. They were almost always cut with something, laced with something. They were not actual weed. So like the come down from these carts genuinely just felt like a different drug. We would always talk about, be like, dude, I think come down's like a different drug, dude. Like, this just feels so terrible, because it would drain all of your energy, make you start crashing, plummeting down. I would genuinely be on the come down from those street carts doing a somewhat fent fold type of thing. Like, these carts were not good. And so as I'm sitting in my bed, I'm getting less and less high and I'm like just crashing down. My energy is plummeting, but the acid wants me to stay awake. The acid still wants to party. So I'm like laying in my bed and I'm like fighting an upper and a downer type of situation. And I'm just sitting there and I'm like, I just need to go to bed. I can't be up right now. I don't want my dad to catch me on acid. I just need to try to sleep. So I kept trying to go to sleep, and acid does not let you sleep. So like I'm falling asleep for like 30 minutes or so. I'm guessing. Like, I genuinely don't know how long it is. I would fall asleep and I would just like genuinely hallucinate these fever dream, like the trippiest dreams of my life. It genuinely looked like some AI generated type of thing. And I would like just have these hallucination, like fever dreams for about 30 minutes, and then I'd wake up and I would be tripping hard as hell, and I'm like, what is going on? Like, it was genuinely just the most confusing loops of my life, because I'd sleep for 30 minutes, be up for 10. Sleep for 30 minutes, be up for 10. Sleep for 30 minutes, be up for 10. And every time that I'm going to bed, it's genuinely just some AI generated fever dream that makes zero sense. I don't even remember what these dreams were. I just remember every time I woke up, I was even more confused, until eventually I woke up for the final time. The sun was starting to go up, and I remember it was somewhere about like 8:30, 9 o'clock, something like that. And I finally just decided I'm gonna get up and start my day. And like I mentioned at the beginning of the story, I was grounded from literally every single one of my belongings, but for my birthday, my dad decided to let me have my PlayStation again. So once I was like somewhat awake, I don't know what made me come to this conclusion, but I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna go hop on the game. I should have stayed in my room. Like, there was no reason for me to go out of my room, but like, I don't know what was going on. I decided to get up. I'm like, I'm gonna go get on my PlayStation, because like my mind state was like, if I'm on the game, maybe like I could be freaking out about the game and it won't seem like I'm on acid. So I'm like, okay, I gotta go out there. But I knew my dad was awake. So I get up, I get dressed, I take a deep breath, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna have to face my dad. I'm gonna have to face my dad. I know he's gonna be out there. I'm gonna have to talk to him. So I open up the door, and my dad is like literally standing like maybe 5 feet away from my door, like near the kitchen. And he just looks directly over me. He's like, oh, you're up early. Like, what's up? And I'm like, I'm gonna go play the video games. And he's just, and like, I literally say it exactly like that. I'm like, I'm gonna go play the video games. And then I just like, my mouth is just hanging open. He's looking at me, and he's just like, oh, okay, turns around. And like, I don't know why the fuck he did not think this was weird, because not only did I never play video games, not only did I never wake up early, but it's like 7:30, 8 in the morning, and I'm going downstairs to play video games. And like, my dad doesn't think this is weird for some reason, so I'm like, okay, I gotta get downstairs. So I walk past my dad, I start going down the stairs, and at this point, all I'm thinking about is, I'm like, oh my gosh, how does he not know I'm on acid? How does he not know I'm on acid? Because like, I'm not tripping, really. Like, I don't have any visuals, you know, but like, I still have acid brain. My entire body, I still feel weird. I still know that I'm on acid, but I can tell that I'm like on the come down, like pretty hard, crashing down. As I'm thinking about like this, walking down the stairs, I'm like, how did I not get caught? How did I not get caught? All of a sudden, I just start talking. I don't have control over what I'm saying, because I'm thinking. I'm not thinking about talking. I'm just thinking in my head. And all of a sudden, I just literally yell up to my dad. I'm like, oh yeah, are we still going to the farm store later? I don't know what the fuck a farm store is. I didn't even know I said this until it was too late and like the words were already out. So I'm just literally frozen in place on the stairs. My body is getting super hot, and I'm like, oh my God, why did I say that? Why did I say that? Did I actually say that? Like, I'm having a hard time even knowing if like I cut myself off in my head or if I actually said those words. So I'm sitting here and I'm just waiting for my dad to respond, waiting for my dad to respond. He is not saying anything though. So I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna go downstairs. So I start like walking downstairs, and like to this day, I still have no idea if I actually said that, if it was a thought, if my dad didn't hear me. I have no idea what happened. I just went downstairs, and like, once I got downstairs, I loaded up my PlayStation and I started to get on Rocket League. Once I was getting on Rocket League, I decided to put on some Spotify in my headphones as well. The first playlist that pops up was like the just top like 100 trending songs in the USA, so I just pressed shuffle play on that. The first song that's gonna play is Blinding Lights by The Weeknd. So that starts coming off, and now I'm actually hearing this, and I'm like, oh my gosh. So I start like moving around. I'm like, oh yeah. I start dancing again. I'm like, yeah, this is the song, this, that, shit, this, that. And then all of a sudden, my dad walks downstairs. Like, he rounds the corner from the stairs, and he's like, what are you doing? What is going on? And I'm like, oh, the game is just like getting really intense. Like, the game is really, really intense. I look back over, I'm still on the loading screen, like loading into the lobby. And so my dad looks at me really, really weird. He's like, oh, okay. And just walks into the garage, grabs something from the garage, walks back in, goes upstairs, and like, I genuinely have no idea how I did not get caught. I was acting so weird, and like, I don't know like why my dad didn't think any of the stuff I was doing was suspicious, but I never got caught. And this is exactly why you should never take a substance without knowing what you're getting into. I had no idea what acid was. I thought it was like mushrooms, and I had a very rude awakening to the fact that it was not. I have no idea how I made it to Jack's house. I have no idea how I made it home. I have no idea how I didn't get caught. Like, this entire night was honestly just sheer luck, and like, I'm so lucky I didn't run into cops, any of it. And like, eventually though, winter break was over. I still obviously did not have my phone because I left it at Jack's house. So I'm trying to go to school to find John so I can get my phone back, because I know for a fact that he would have it out of both of them. So once I get to school, I'm trying to find him. I'm gonna have random people, not random people, but a bunch of like friends that I know just randomly coming up to me being like, what? You're okay? I thought you were in juvie. Like, I thought you went to jail. I thought you were lost. Like, people are going on and on, like saying they thought I died. They thought I was in juvie. And so I'm like super confused. I'm like, what do you mean? Like, what happened? Apparently, Jack and John did not think I was gonna make it home. They started posting on their stories being like, guys, if you see Owen like say something, they genuinely start putting basically like missing person reports, quote unquote, onto Snapchat stories saying that I'm missing, I'm gone. Like, they thought I died. They thought I was going to turn up in a ditch. And like, this whole thing is just so confusing to me because I'm like, y'all were tripping too. Y'all don't even know why the fuck they were out posting that. I was so lost on that. But eventually I find John, get my phone back. He's like fucking super happy that I'm okay, obviously, because I'm like, dude, why did you even think I was going to die? Like, you could have walked me home if you thought it was that bad. He's like, well, no, we couldn't leave the house, man. Like, I couldn't be doing any of that. And so I'm staring at this dude and I'm like, yeah, I'm never taking acid again. This is the genuine time I found out that shrooms are for me and acid is never getting touched again. Thank you all so much for watching to the end of the video. If you enjoy content like this, be sure to subscribe because I have a lot more stories coming very soon. And we also officially have the stories up on Spotify. So if you're interested in that, I'll leave a link in the description. The episodes are up just as podcasts, but the videos are still there. So link will be in the description for that. But I feel like this story is a perfect example of if you're gonna do stupid shit, at least research the stupid shit you're gonna do. Cause like genuinely, we have phones, we have technology. There's no need to jump into stuff blind. If you're gonna make stupid decisions, at least do the research behind the stupidity, you know what I'm saying? But like, it's smarter to just avoid it altogether. Don't be doing nothing you see me doing in the videos, but if you are, at least do yourself the favor of research and stuff. Make sure you're doing everything safe, because genuinely, this night could have ended a whole lot different, and I could have saved myself all of that by just Googling one simple thing, you know what I'm saying? So make sure y'all are being safe out there, but I really appreciate all y'all supporting my content, supporting anything I do, whether it's on YouTube, TikTok, whatever the case is. We will be having a second YouTube channel opening up very soon as well, so I guess I'll also leave a link for that down in the description. But once again, big shout out to Cooper for sponsoring this video, and I hope y'all enjoyed this video. Hope y'all enjoyed the video, and I'll see y'all in the next one.